While Ramses was training with Sheikh Abdul Rahman, he and Fatima discovered a hidden pharaonic tomb in the desert. The tomb was buried under the sand for centuries, and it was filled with treasures and precious artifacts. But they found traces indicating that antique thieves had already been here. There were signs of digging and vandalism, and some statues were broken. Ramses felt anger and sadness. He knew that the artifact thieves were about to return, and that they would try to steal everything in the tomb. He decided that he must put an end to them and protect the heritage of his ancestors at any cost. Oh, Fatima, we must make a plan. We must wait for the artifact thieves in the tomb and surprise them and arrest them, Ramses said in a firm tone. Fatima agreed immediately. She was ready to risk her life to protect the heritage of Egypt. I am with you, Ramses. We will do everything we can to prevent them from stealing our treasures. Ramses and Fatima began to develop a tight plan. They studied the tomb carefully and identified the weaknesses and strengths. They prepared an ambush for the artifact thieves and prepared for the decisive confrontation. They knew that the battle would be difficult, but they were determined to win. That night, the artifact thieves returned to the cemetery. They were carrying digging and excavation tools, and they were expecting to find great treasures. But they did not know that Ramses and Fatima were waiting for them inside, and that they were ready to defend the heritage of Egypt with all their might. In the heart of the hidden tomb, under the dim moonlight that seeped in from an opening in the ceiling, Ramses and Fatima set up a tight ambush. Ramses was feeling a tension flowing in his veins, but he was determined to protect this sacred place. Fatima, with her usual courage, was standing beside him, her eyes watching the darkness, waiting for the appearance of the artifact thieves. The night was quiet, but this calm was deceptive. Ramses, thanks to his growing abilities, was feeling their coming. Faint whispers, cautious footsteps, and the smell of sweat and fear filled the place. Suddenly, strong spotlights appeared, cutting through the darkness. The raised Jaber, with a malicious smile on his face, entered the cemetery with his men. They were carrying digging and excavation tools, and their eyes were gleaming with greed. "Welcome, Ramses," said the raised Jaber in a mocking voice. "I knew you would come. I thought you were the only one who would care about a place as deserted as this." Ramses stepped forward, his eyes blazing with holy anger. "This is not a deserted place, Race Jaber. This is part of our history, part of our identity. I will not allow you to desecrate it." Race Jaber laughed out loud. "History? Identity? These are just words, boy. Money is everything." The Captain Jaber pointed to his men, who began to advance towards Ramses and Fatima. "Show me how you will stop me, boy." Here the battle began. Ramses, using his supernatural abilities, moved the sand and stones, turning the cemetery land into a deadly trap. The sand moved like snakes, hindering the movement of the thieves and impeding their progress. The stones flew in the air, colliding with their bodies and knocking them to the ground. Fatima, despite not possessing supernatural abilities, was fighting bravely. She used a stick she was carrying to hit the thieves, directing precise and painful blows. She was moving with speed and agility, avoiding their attacks and trapping them in the traps that Ramses had set. The Captain Jaber was watching the battle with anger. He did not expect to face such resistance. He shouted at his men, "Finish them! Do not have mercy on them!" But Ramses was growing stronger. He summoned the ghosts of the ancient pharaohs who appeared in the tomb as transparent images, radiating ancient power. The ghosts attacked the thieves, instilling in them fear and terror. Their screams filled the place, as they tried to escape from these untouchable ghosts. The captain, Jaber, after seeing his men fall one after another, decided to intervene himself. He pulled out a shiny dagger and rushed towards Ramses. "I will kill you, boy," shouted Al-Rayes Jaber. "I will make you an example for anyone who tries to stand in my way." Ramses prepared for the confrontation. He gathered all his strength and focused it in his hands. When Al-Rayes Jaber approached, Ramses released a beam of energy that hit Al-Rayes Jaber in the chest. Al-Rayes Jaber fell to the ground, groaning in pain. "This is the reward for everyone who tries to steal our history," Ramses said in a firm voice. They had heard about their courage and heroism, and they were proud of Ramses, who defended their heritage. He must also improve the lives of the villagers and help them overcome poverty and marginalization. Ramses remembered the story of Korah that Ramses II had told him. He had learned that true wealth is not in accumulating money, but in using knowledge and power to help others. Ramses began to search for solutions to the village's problems. Remember the stories of Sheikh Abdul Rahman about an ancient irrigation system dating back to the time of the pharaohs. Ramses decided to search for this system and rehabilitate it. With the help of Fatima and Sheikh Abdul Rahman, Ramses began excavating the old system. It took a great deal of time and effort, but they finally found it. The system was damaged and dilapidated, but Ramses was determined to fix it. Ramses used his abilities to control the water, directing it to the old canals. With the help of the villagers, they repaired and cleaned the canals. After weeks of hard work, they were able to restart the old irrigation system. Water flowed into the fields, and the barren land turned green. The farmers planted their crops, and this was the first time in many years that they obtained a plentiful harvest. The village flourished. The people no longer suffered from poverty and hunger. They had enough food and water. But Ramses did not stop at this. He knew that tourism could be an important source of income for the village. Ramses decided to organize tourist tours to the ancient temples and tombs. Ramses used his knowledge of ancient Egyptian history to explain the importance of these sites to tourists. He learned how to speak different languages and how to attract tourists with his interesting stories. Tourists began to flock to the village. They were amazed by the beauty of the temples and tombs and enjoyed the stories that Ramses told. They spent their money in the village and bought local products. The lives of the villagers improved greatly. They got new jobs, new shops, and new schools. The village became a prosperous and thriving place. Ramses, the Saidi child, became a real hero. He protected the heritage of his country and improved the lives of his villagers. He accepted his abilities and used them for good, became a symbol of hope and the future. In one of the nights, while Ramses was standing in front of the Karnak temple, Ramses II appeared to him in a vision. Ramses II smiled and said, "You have done more than I hoped, O Ramses. You have protected our heritage and improved the lives of our people. You are a pride to us all." Ramses smiled and said, "I will continue to protect our heritage, and I will continue to serve my people. This is my duty, and this is my destiny." Ramses called on the readers to appreciate and protect their cultural heritage, and to contribute to the development of their communities, stressing that everyone has the ability to make a positive change.